Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome back to another video lesson. All right, so this is going to be a daily trade recap. You guys know I've been real sick and it's been hard for me to do videos. So this trade I took last week, but I'm just now getting to where I can do a video on it, okay? It's a Royal Caribbean. This trade made us I think over 100% return on an option trade. So I'm going to show you what we did, how we did it, all right? So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful intro. All right, everybody. You got my face here. I'm going to take my face off the screen for a minute so we can make it a little bit bigger for you guys there. All right, there we go. So this is a Royal Caribbean. Now, I took a short on this trade. I'm going to show you what I did, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the numbers. So one of the things that there's three things that we always talk about, right? I teach at school, right? I teach my students that three things. Number one, establish a bias. So when you look at a chart, your job is to predict where you think the money is going to be, right? Up or down. And so Royal Caribbean, I can see here, I got these stack moving averages to the downside, okay? The 8 and 21, but it's nice and red. We're stacked moving averages to the downside on the weekly, and we're nice and red. Now, again, this was last week, so we were right here and right here. So my bias was down based on the way that I teach it. So I was focused to the downside. Now, here, this is the daily chart. Okay, so I talk about a concept called the three market phases. Everything goes through three phases. And your ability as a trader is to recognize what phase you're in and then trade accordingly. So number one, I had a bias to the downside. Now I'm looking for a setup. So this right here is one of my setups. We're in a squeeze, and then we go into the contraction phase, which is basically a quiet period. Okay, this is the daily chart. Now, boom. As soon as we left the contraction phase, we entered the expansion phase. And again, one of the things that I'm doing is if your bias is down, you're focused to the downside. So this was my setup. I also have this 4 hour over here. So that's the daily and the 4 hour. I like to confirm it with the expansion phase and a squeeze on the 4 hour. So basically when it happens with the daily to 4 hour, we break to the downside. That's when I like to look for an entry. So it's the bias, and then you've got a setup, and then you're looking for an entry. Okay, so I'll show you where I entered the trade. Now, on the left is the daily. This is the 1 hour. So when I see this contraction phase going on the daily, I like to enter on the 1 hour. So we were in a squeeze. Okay, this is the Squeeze Pro. This is an indicator that I use every day. Okay, I use it for volatility to confirm the market phases, and then I also use it for momentum. I also use the Ready Aim Fire Pro every day, not only for options and forex and crypto, but also futures. Very powerful when you start to understand this. And I got a lot of videos on this indicator, okay? Also, in the description of all my videos, I've got a link to those indicators. And if you end up getting those indicators through that link and you email me, I'm going to hook you up with a lot of bonuses, okay? Plus, I'm going to end up giving you a couple training courses, okay? But you got to get that through me. So anyway, it started to consolidate on the 4 hour. And then this white line right here, this is called a value line. I teach my students about that line, and I like to use it for an entry technique in addition to my squeeze and my Ready and Fire Pro. But I jumped in right here under value with a stop loss up here. So a very tight risk, okay? And I got on this on 6-7 because of my setup, right? Because of my bias. Then what I was targeting, this was last week, what I was targeting was this area right down here at about 45.92. And that was, and again, it was kind of in this, I did it off the daily, but I took profit kind of down here when it was consolidating on the hourly. So I entered at a beautiful time in line with my bias, and I got out here. Now what's crazy is this was last week. This was last week, and it kept going down. But that's all right. You know, you take your money. So let's go ahead and look at the toss, and let's check it out on the chart so we can see it. All right. So we entered on June the 7th. So again, it was last week, 310. So we bought these put options at 310. We sold them on 6/9 for 6/30. Okay? That's $3.20. So if you take 320 divided by 310, that's a 103% return on a 2-day option. Okay? 103%. And again, it was super easy. There was no stress. We established a bias. We looked for our setup, and then we looked for our entry. All right? 103%. Okay. Hey, so if that interests you, if you are a struggling trader or you're just looking to get better in your, your current trading, then check down below in the description. I have some free courses. I also have my full options elite course. And right now I'm giving a bonus to one of my methodologies, the market phases that go with it. Okay. And as always, if you're interested in any of those indicators, you can just check it out below. Okay, everybody. I'm still getting sick. I'm still recovering. So, hey, until next time, everybody, this is Jeff Moore, author of the book, Trading Part-Time, which you can find on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And we'll see you in the next video lesson.